Hey, it's Joshua, Suzanne. You know, we have a slew of really interesting people coming to the store lately, and another one came in, and he happens to be a dentist, correct?
That's correct.
And what is your name?
Doug.
Doug.
Leen.
Doug Leen.
Leen.
Doug Leen. You might have heard of Doug Leen. You never know. Doug.
Everybody does.
Besides being a dentist, what else do you? What are your hobbies? What do you do with your life? What are your?
Oh my gosh, hobbies?
Yeah.
Going forever. Well, I started a hobby 20 years ago, republishing WPA posters for the National Park System, and now it's turned into a business. And dentistry is my hobby.
Okay.
But I climb mountains, I play the piano and garden and live in Alaska and what else goes on.
What are you doing here in New York?
Invited out to actually Washington, D.C. by the Sierra Club to lobby for public lands. We're working on keeping the drilling out of the Arctic refuge.
Nice.
And especially in lieu of...
And you're from Alaska, you say?
Lived there.
Yeah.
Last 10 years.
Wow.
Live in the smallest city in Alaska, the city of Kupernoff. And it's 23 people, 21 now.
Wow.
Martine and I are down here.
Oh my God.
But anyway, Sierra Club brought me out to Washington and paraded me around in front of a bunch of senators, and I've signed some posters, and it's going to be kind of used as the iconic graphic design for this anti-drilling.
You mentioned someone that we probably all know you're about to meet, and you mentioned it to me just a couple of minutes ago. Who was it? Was it Joe?
Well, we met with both the Udalls, Tom and Mark Udall, their son of Mo and of Stuart Udall, and that was about a week ago. And they're both very, very strong pro-Alaska land people. And then Joe Lieberman, we met Congressman.
Joe's an interesting character, isn't he?
Well, we didn't really discuss politics, but we did
Right.
present him with a poster. He's been very much for the environment, but I know he's now an independent. You know,
Right.
the Democrats.
Kind of.
Pulled a end run around him, and I guess he went back as an independent. But I haven't followed his politics since Al Gore, and he ran.
But he's pro-environment.
But he's very pro. Yeah, he's
Excellent.
very much behind the Alaska land. There's a lot of Alaska has a mentality of almost entitlement, and 50% of the people up there, 51% sometimes always seem to think they can dig up and haul out anything they can carry, and it's sort of depressing, I think.
Yeah. Now today you're off to see who?
Oh, Pete Seeger today.
Gonna hang out with
We're
Pete
gonna
Seeger.
have
a little play maybe a little music and talk about environmental issues a little bit there.
I guess so.
Are you going to sign a poster for Pete?
I probably will, actually.
Yeah. Do you think Pete will sign something for you, maybe? Who
Well, I
knows?
hope so.
Can you, like,
You
exchange
never know,
signatures and
yeah.
things like that?
I wouldn't turn it down.
What do you-
I grew up with Pete Seeger ringing in my ears.
Oh, I love him, by the way. Amazing.
Oh, yeah, he's
Such an influence on so many of us in such a wonderful way, and so are you.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much.
Even though we may not know exactly who you are, you're doing things for us. And for
Well, I like to think I'm doing for graphic art and restoration of CCC what Pete Seeger did to music. So, in fact, you go back far enough, the WPA and the Federal Arts and Music Project, they got a lot of the people in his vintage going. And
where can we find out more about what you're up to and what you're doing?
go to dougleen.com.
dougleen.com. This is Doug's card he handed to me here, and you just go to dougleen.com and
then you click on the aluminum trailer. There's a little
Trailer.
Airstream trailer on my website. That's our blog.
Okay.
It'll take you from the South Pole to Barrow, Alaska, and everywhere in between.
Wow.
We just got back. Martine and I just got back from South Pole about 4 years ago now. 5 years
What is going to be your next thing that you really want to accomplish? What's the next big that you're going to go for?
Boy, get my garden going this summer. The big thing. Well, you know what I want to do actually is, and this goes back to dentistry, but we do a lot of dental care for children in small villages in Alaska, and they traditionally don't get a lot of regular care. They have horrifically bad diets, virtually all candy and pop, and we fly in bush planes. It's all on this blog, and literally fly in on bush planes carrying Coca-Cola and the dentist. I figure that one out. So I go in and they drink the Coke, and then I pull their teeth, and it is a really sobering experience in the healthcare field. So I want to work. Actually, I'm going to. This goes even further back. 40 years ago, this week, 14th of May, next week exactly, I met with Richard Nixon in the White House.
You met with Richard Nixon in the White House exactly 40 years ago?
40 years ago, next week.
Next week to talk about the Vietnam War.
That's
amazing. And what did Richard have to say, or what did President Nixon have to say? How was that conversation?
Well, it was kind of unilateral. He started talking football, and I'm not even sure what a football is, but it was like meeting in The Wizard of Oz, the little man behind the curtain.
Wow.
And it's like, don't pay attention, look at the big icon.
Because he did run on an environmental platform.
He actually did some, he signed the Wilderness Act, and he did some things, but I mean, he probably did a few things he shouldn't have.
Yeah, sure. They all do things they shouldn't.
Yeah, a lot of
right?
politicians
Yeah?
get involved with that. But anyway, I want to meet, my next big push is I'd like to meet with Michelle Obama about fat kids.
Yes.
There's a lot of obesity and a lot of high fructose.
I was just about to ask you about that with the soda you mentioned
and it's just
and
killing,
all that kind of stuff.
I'll tell you, there's a poster, it's in the Alaska health system, in the public health system there, and it shows methamphetamine meth mouth. And they're just trashed out teeth and bodies and horrible
Yes,
things.
yep.
But there's no difference between those kids' teeth and kids that get on sugar.
Wow.
There's no difference. And so why do they feed them sugar and not meth,
Right.
It just doesn't make sense. They should get rid of it all.
Well, when you meet Michelle, tell her I said hey.
I will.
I don't play basketball that much, but I probably could,
I don't either.
challenge her to a game. I'm not sure.
Is that
But-
football and around, which is the pointy one?
Yeah, one's
I
round,
don't
one's
know.
pointy,
Yeah.
and they all bounce. I know that. In any case, you guys, wonderful people coming through my store, doing great things with their
Yeah.
lives. I'm sure you all are too. And we'll see you here back at Rags. And thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Have a
It was
great
a
time.
pleasure to talk
Right
to
on,
you.
right on.
You bet.
Excellent. Peace up.